Hey guys, hoping all is well with everyone. So in this video we're going to be continuing our read along of The Secret Zoo, Traps and Specters, and we're going to be starting today with chapter 38. But just as a quick recap, as we kind of ended on the previous two chapters, it was the continuation of the pursuit and chase of Degraff. So Degraff got further and further away from Ella and Richie, in addition to the scouts and the descenders. So in the very last chapter, Hannah took to the rooftops, and she figured that because he had to cross Jenkins Street to get anywhere near the Clarksville Zoo, she would be able to kind of head him off there and cut him off before he got there. So we're going to be starting today with chapter 38, and we'll jump into it. Chapter 38, Solana Walks the Wall. Solana cut across several lawns and turned onto Jenkins. Not more than 50 feet ahead was Old Cove, where Ella and Richie had spotted Degraff. She veered across the street, ran between two houses, and headed across a backyard to where the zoo wall stretched in both directions. She jumped, planted her palms on the top of the wall, and pulled herself up. She quickly climbed to her feet and took off running. Though she couldn't see much through the fog, she could still see some activity in and out of the zoo. If she was lucky enough to spot Degraff, she could move on him in an instant. She came to a stop in a place with a view between a pair of houses to Old Cove. "I've got a good position," Solana announced into her bone mic. "I'm on the wall along Jenkins." "Stay there," Sam spoke into her ear, "and be ready. Don't let this monster into our house." "No way," Solana said. "That's not going to happen." Chapter 39, Tameron Takes the Tower. At Clarksville Elementary, Tameron ran across the playground toward the back of the school. In the fog, the play equipment looked strange and eerie. Swings dangled like prison chains, and dome-shaped climbers sat like steel traps. "I'm at the school," he spoke into his bone mic. "The Halloween party's over. The place looks empty." "Stay put," Sam said. "Find a spot with a view." Knowing what Sam meant, Tameron veered toward one of the wings of the school. As he ran, he pulled a strap on his large backpack. The canvas bottom dropped and released his tail. It uncoiled on the ground and dragged behind him, leaving a curling, snake-like trail in the wood chips. As he neared to within 20 feet of the building, he swung his high tail over his head, brought it down in a smooth arc, and catapulted himself onto the roof. He quickly retracted his tail and headed across the ceramic tiles. On the peak of the main building, the descender crouched beside the big bell tower, leaning his shoulder against one of its columns. He stared into the distance beyond the concrete courtyard in front of the school. Here, the fog wasn't so thick, and he could faintly make out several side streets and the winding stretch of Jenkins. The neighborhood was quiet and still. "What time we got?" he asked. 9:15, Sam answered. "Streets should be empty by now." This was good, Tameron thought. Get the people indoors, get them safe. Things were about to get very dangerous. Chapter 40, Sam Soars Into the Sky. As Sam ran towards Jenkins Street, he said into his bone mic, "I'm going to find a spot between Old Cove and the school." "You better hurry," Solana said into the airwaves. "Why? What do we got?" "Someone's coming down Old Cove. A man." Sam uttered a curse. He stopped running. "Is it him?" "I can't tell. He just cut into a corner lot. I can't see him now. It's too dark. And the fog." "Solana, tell me what—" "Wait! He just turned onto Jenkins Street. He's headed toward the school. He's about 5 blocks away from it." "Don't lose sight of him." Sam paused, then said, "Hannah, what's your position?" "I'm on the rooftops, headed toward the action." Sam looked around, unsure. Then he said, "Tameron, I'm coming your way." "From which direction?" Tameron asked. Sam considered this a moment, then said, "From above." He retreated into the darkest recess he could find, a spot between two houses and a group of trees. He swatted his wrists against his hips, and with 2 loud clicks, The buckles on his jacket latched into the zippers at the ends of his sleeves. He raised his arms out to his sides, spreading the feathers from inside his jacket. Thin rods shot out from his cuffs, increasing his wingspan. His transformation complete, Sam crouched low and sprang into the foggy air. Chapter 41. The Chase. As Noah ran towards Jenkins Street, he was startled by a figure running from a foggy yard. It was Megan, but Noah, having forgotten that his sister was dressed like a pirate, almost didn't recognize her. She turned to ran in his direction, joining him. 20 feet ahead of the siblings, a man charged past on Jenkins Street. A man in a trench coat and a wide-brimmed hat. "I've got Megan with me," Noah announced into the airwaves. "We've spotted Degraff on Jenkins, just past Pheasant Run." "Follow him," Sam said. "Don't get too close." "Roger," Noah said. As Megan and Noah cut through a corner lot and headed after Degraff, two figures rose out of the fog in a nearby yard. A screwy-looking kid with checkered flood pants and an oversized bow tie, and a girl with a gold headband, shiny steel bracelets, and a flowing cape. As they ran, the nerd tripped over his own feet, and the young Wonder Woman leaped over a bush in superhero fashion. The two kids joined Noah and Megan on Jenkins Street, and together, the four scouts chased after the man the secret society desperately needed to keep out of the secret zoo. And I'll stop the video there, ending chapter 41. And when we continue our read-along of the secret zoo, we're going to be continuing with chapter 42. But I hope you guys enjoyed that video. Kind of interesting how all the descenders kind of have a different strategic approach based on their animal-like powers to be able to kind of track down and keep an eye on Degraff in the neighborhood. But as always, guys, thank you so much for watching. Please take good care of yourselves, and we hope to see you next time in our continuation of the Secret Zoo Traps and Specters. Take good care, guys. Bye.